People often talk about spirits and their existence, but we don't know if spirits do exist or not. What is the world of the spirits like, and what would you do if you suddenly got transported to that world? Stay tuned to watch what happens next. Presenting the movie, Spirited Away. The story begins with a family of three, a father, a mother, and a daughter. They are traveling in their car to their new home in a new city. The daughter is very upset at the thought of changing cities, as she holds onto a bouquet with a card that says farewell to Chihiro. After a while, Chihiro's father stops the car. He finds an off-road path. He takes this path confident in his car's four-wheel drive and navigation. They arrive at a tunnel. Chihiro doesn't feel comfortable and tells her parents they should go back, but her parents want to explore. Hesitantly, she follows her parents into the tunnel, clinging to her mother. Inside the tunnel, her father says this is an abandoned amusement park, and they explore the place further. They discover a huge market, where Chihiro's parents start getting the scent of food. He thinks the place is still in business, as they follow their nose to a food stall with freshly cooked, delicious food. They call for the owner, but when no one arrives, they start eating, saying that when the owner arrives, they will pay him. They tell Chihiro to come to eat with them, but she refuses, as she still feels weirded out by the place. She leaves her parents to look around. There, she sees a bathhouse, with black fumes coming out of a chimney. Over the bridge, she leans as a train passes. That's when a boy arrives. He grabs Chihiro and tells her to run, as it is almost night, and it's dangerous to be here. She runs to where her parents were, but when she gets there, she sees two pigs sitting where her father and mother were. She gets scared and runs while calling out to her mother and father. As she runs, the sun sets, and shadowy creatures appear. She keeps running and arrives at a river where there used to be a field. In complete disbelief of what is going on, she hits herself, thinking that this is a dream, and that she will wake up. She curls into a ball, repeating the words, "This is all a dream." That's when we see her body slowly turning transparent. When she looks at her hands, she can see through them. Utterly frightened, she sits there, curled up. That's when the boy from earlier arrives. He holds her and gives her a tablet to eat. She is hesitant. The boy tells her that she won't turn into a pig, but will disappear if she doesn't eat it. She is almost transparent, but when she eats it, she turns normal. Then they run to hide Chihiro from the shadows forming into different types of creatures. These are the spirits. The boy puts a spell on Chihiro so the spirits can't see her. He also tells her to hold her breath as they cross the bridge, or the spell will be broken. That's when a frog jumps up to the boy, calling him Master Haku. This startles Chihiro, and she lets out a breath. The spirits get startled as they smell a human. The frog immediately sees her and says, "Human." The boy puts the frog in a spell, and they run as the spirits continue to search for the human. The boy then tells Chihiro to go to Kamaji and insists him to give her a job because if he doesn't, she will be turned into an animal by Yubaba, the sorceress who rules this place. He shows her the way by putting his hand on her forehead. He then tells her his name is Haku, and he is on Chihiro's side, and Chihiro asks how he knows her name. He answers that he had known her from when she was young, and that she should go now. As she gets on her way, she finds a long wooden staircase leading down to Kamaji's place. The staircase has no railing or supports whatsoever. She slowly gets down on the first steps, all scared. That's when she steps on a stair that breaks. She comes running down straight into the wall, luckily not falling off. Finally, she gets to a place. It's a boiler room. Small hairy little creatures are carrying pieces of coal into the fire. Kamaji is a spirit with 6 arms that is crushing different herbs. When Chihiro asks for work, he tells her to leave, as he has no work for her, but she keeps standing there. That's when a small creature is crushed by the coal. She picks up that coal and throws it into the fire. The other creatures, seeing how she helped the other creature, also act like they are being crushed, disrupting the work. A woman named Lin arrives. Lin realizes that she is a human. Kamaji tells Lin she is her granddaughter and wants her to take Chihiro to Yubaba because he has no work for her here. Lin takes Chihiro after being bribed by Kamaji. On the way, we see that the place is a bathhouse where spirits are relaxing. Lin hides her as she takes her to an elevator where the frog from earlier comes to Lin. He tells her that she reeks of humans, but Lin distracts him and gets Chihiro onto an elevator to Yubaba. At Yubaba's door, when she tries to open the door, The doorknob tells her that she should knock before opening itself. She is pulled into the room. There, an older woman with a huge head is there. She is Yubaba. Chihiro asks her to give her work, but Yubaba seals her mouth. She tells her that this place is not for humans, and that she should rather turn her into a piglet, like her parents, or a lump of coal. She then unzips her mouth to ask who helped her get here, to which the first thing she says is to give her a job. Yubaba gets furious. That's when a large baby's foot kicks through the door, breaking everything. Yubaba rushes to the other room. After Chihiro's insistence, Yubaba gives her a paper and tells her to sign it. Yubaba then picks up a name from the paper, and she absorbs some part of her name and gives her a new name as Sen. That's when Haku arrives. Yubaba tells him to take Chihiro to work. Chihiro introduces herself as Sen as she comes across the workers. In the elevator, she calls him Haku, but he acts like he doesn't know her and tells her to address him as Master Haku. Chihiro is given into Lin's care. When Chihiro asks Lin about Haku, she tells Chihiro that Haku is Yubaba's henchman and she should stay away from him. As it turns to day, they all go to sleep. Yubaba wraps a cloak around herself, turning into a bird-like body, and leaves. That's when Haku goes to Chihiro and tells her to come to the bridge. She gets to the bridge to see a black shadow with a mask. It disappears after a while. Haku arrives and takes her to her parents, who turned into pigs and don't even remember being human. Haku tells Chihiro that her name is not Sen, it is Chihiro, and that Yubaba controls people by stealing their names, just like how she controls him, and he can't remember his name. He gives her some food. As she eats, she begins to cry. When Chihiro leaves for work, she sees a dragon in the sky. She struggles to perform the activities at work and sees the same shadow spirit with a mask again. It is standing in the rain outside. She tells him to come inside as she leaves. Later on, Lin and Chihiro are tasked with cleaning the big tub for the filthiest spirits, even though it's a job for the frogs. As they clean the tub, they require a token to fill it with herbal water, which the receptionist refuses to give, telling her to scrub it with her bare hands. That's when the shadow spirit arrives and gets it for her while the receptionist speaks on the phone. She thanks him as she leaves. Later on, to appease Chihiro, the shadow spirit brings a handful of the tokens, but Chihiro tells him she doesn't need them. This saddens the spirit as he drops everything and leaves. That's when a stinky, sludge-like spirit arrives, making everyone run due to its stench. Chihiro is given the task of handling the spirit. She takes him to the bathtub she had prepared, but because he was so dirty, he turns the water around it into sludge as well. Chihiro uses the tokens shadow spirit had dropped, but she falls into the bathtub in the process of getting the water flowing onto him. When the spirit picks her, she feels something sticking out of him. Yubaba arrives. They tie the thing with a rope to yank it out. A considerable amount of garbage comes out of him to reveal the spirit of a great river. As a token of thanks, the spirit also gives a green herbal ball to Chihiro. Everyone rejoices, and Yubaba thanks Chihiro for doing a good job. In the next scene, we see the shadow creature. He is sitting in a tub. The small frog arrives and tells him that the bathhouse is closed. That's when he takes out gold from his palm, and the frog greedily jumps toward him. That's when he eats the frog and could speak with the frog's voice. He tells another employee to wake everyone up after throwing some gold at him. Chihiro wakes up to find that no one is next to her. Lin arrives. She tells him that a spirit is giving out gold and that she should join them and work. She doesn't go with Lin. On the balcony, she sees the same dragon from when she met Haku. Paper birds surround it, and she saves him, realizing it's Haku. He is coughing up blood, but he leaves immediately to Yubaba. A paper bird attaches itself to Chihiro. She runs to get to Yubaba, but the way is blocked as the shadow spirit is being fed. He offers her gold, but she refuses him and leaves. He gets angry and ends up eating 2 workers. Chihiro gets to Yubaba's place as they are about to dispose of Haku. The paper bird turns into Yubaba's twin sister. She turns Yubaba's baby into a mouse, another creature into a small bird, while 3 heads into Yubaba's baby. She tells Chihiro that Haku is a thief and he needs to be punished. Chihiro defends Haku, saying it's not his fault. That's when Haku strikes the paper bird, making Yubaba's sister disappear. Afterwards, they fall into a vent, leading straight into Kamaji's place. The mouse and bird follow as well. At Kamaji's place, he tells Chihiro that Haku is under a spell. To help him, she feeds him half of the herb ball, which she got from the river spirit for him to throw up the seal he had stolen, plus a worm-like creature which was the curse that she crushes. Haku turns into his human form. Kamaji tells Chihiro that Haku was passionate about learning magic, so he became Yubaba's apprentice. Chihiro decides to go to Yubaba's twin sister, Zenoba. She will return Zenoba's seal and will apologize, in place of Haku. Kamaji gives her 4 train tickets. Before going, she is called by the workers to solve the problem of the shadow spirit that keeps eating. She feeds half of the herb ball she had held for her parents to the shadow spirit, making him puke everything and everyone out. He runs after her. She gets to the train station with the help of Lin. The spirit, whose name is No Face, follows her too. She takes the mouse, the bird, and No Face along with her to Zenoba's place. Meanwhile, Yubaba discovers her baby is missing when the 3 heads turn back into their original form. She tells Haku to get his baby. He tells her that he will get him back, but only if she promises to return Chihiro and her parents to their world. At Zenoba's place, Chihiro gives the seal back to Zenoba and apologizes to Haku. She asks if she can return her to her world, to which she says she has to do this alone. That's when the doorbell rings. Haku is standing in his dragon form. No Face stays behind Zenoba, while the mouse and bird leave with Haku and Chihiro. On the way, Chihiro remembers that she fell into a river called Kahaku and was saved by him, and that his name is Kahaku. Hearing this, he returns to his human form and remembers his name. He thanks Chihiro for making him remember his name as they fly back to Yubaba. Haku returns the baby to Yubaba as he transforms from a mouse into his actual form. Haku then tells Yubaba to return Chihiro and her parents to their world, but she refuses. The baby tells Yubaba that if she makes Chihiro cry, he will not like her. So Yubaba agrees. She says that Chihiro will have to answer one question, and then she can leave. In front of her, she puts a bunch of pigs and asks her who her parents are. She looks at them for a while and then says no one is. That's when all of them turn back into workers. She got the answer right. The contract turns to dust, and Haku says to go to her parents, as they are already outside. He tells her to go and not look back. She asks him if they'll meet. He tells her that he will end his apprenticeship and return to the world, and they'll meet for sure. As she goes, the river has disappeared, and she meets her parents, who are oblivious to what has happened. They ask where she was, as all of them leave. And the movie ends here. This story was full of turmoil and twists at each turn. A story of what the spirit world might be like. It was beautifully elaborated. What did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments.